So I just sat down, and I'm facing, like, I'm laying back this way, so I would be like, it would be most comfortable to vlog like this. But as you can see, that would be backlighting, so let me resituate myself. Ugh, so I'm a little more comfortable. Also, this needs to be turned off. I don't know if you can tell, yeah, there's like a blue screen. My dad comes, today's Tuesday, my dad comes on Tuesdays to watch Annika while I take Gwen to therapy. What to say, therapy. Right now it's just speech. But while I'm gone, he watches Last Man Standing on Hulu on our house. Or I could have him watch it anything or whatever, but that's what he usually watches. So I got that all set up for him, and I hadn't turned off the screen yet. So hi. So I think I probably put in the title of this video that it's an appreciation post. It's not all about appreciation. I guess it's all appreciation in some form. But I mainly mean it in appreciation of my husband. But it's also appreciation of other things too. Sorry. I've just been like, I feel like I've been running around for forever. It's really only been like an hour and a half or so that I've been, well, maybe longer. Okay, so let me tell you how this night went. Most of the day was fine. It was a pretty typical day, and it wasn't like terrible at night or anything way out of the ordinary. I have sore in my mouth. The more I move my mouth, and I just bit my tongue, the more it hurts. But like a few nights ago, maybe longer, but a few nights ago, I had a couple popsicles, like I don't know, those cheap like plastic popsicles that's just like frozen juice in a little plastic tube thing. I had a couple of them, and the plastic like cut my mouth on the inside here, and now it's really sore. This side is. It kind of cut both sides, but this side's worse. This side is still sore. This side is pretty much healed. So that's a thing. But anyway, so it really started with, I don't know what the deal with Annika was, but it started with, I don't know, just anytime Gwen has therapy or we're at the church for an excessive amount of time, Gwen doesn't really get a good nap in. So she kind of tried to sleep on and off while she was in the playpen that I have there, because it's like on a carpet and it's somewhat comfortable, but I don't really intend for her to sleep in there. And then eventually I moved her to the pack and play that's in the nursery. I clean our church, and we have a nursery at the church, and there's a pack and play there. I had Annika there for a while because she was having trouble. She kept rolling around and ending up like halfway under the changing table that's in the nursing mother's room, which is where I set up the playpen for Gwen. But the nursery is a different room. So I ended up moving Annika to the pack and play so she wouldn't be rolling under things and getting all upset. But eventually I decided it was time for Gwen to take a nap. It was like her nap time, so I moved Annika out of that into a swing that they have, like a motorized swing, and I moved Gwen into the pack and play. Not that all is super important, but Gwen didn't sleep for a while. Finally, when I went to get her, when I was done cleaning, she had fallen asleep, but I don't think she had been asleep for very long. So that was kind of the start of it. She didn't get a very long nap there. We left and came back here and had lunch. Then my dad came and I took Gwen to therapy. After therapy, it was like 4 o'clock, and she hasn't had a super long nap, but I was like, well, once she starts acting like she's tired, because maybe she slept longer than I think she did earlier, and I don't want to make her have to like take a nap and then go to therapy and then take a nap again like right away. I didn't want her to be like overly like, I didn't want to like keep putting her down for naps and like, I don't know, making have it seem like I don't want to be around my child or something. So anyway, I was waiting until I wanted to wait until she started acting like she was tired or something. So then she didn't really start acting like she was tired until like 6 o'clock. And usually, I don't like to put her down any later than like 5:30 for a nap, because she doesn't usually fall asleep right away when I do put her down. And I like to get her up at like 6:30 so she can have supper. That's when she usually has supper, so I don't let her sleep past that, partly because I want her to have supper at that time, and partly because I don't want her sleeping too late with a nap when she has a bedtime of 8 o'clock. So yeah, so it came to be 6 o'clock and she started to get tired, and I was like, well, it's too late to take a nap now, maybe you can go to bed early. And I had planned on giving them both baths tonight. Spoiler alert, it didn't happen. They didn't get their naps, or they didn't get their baths tonight, so we'll have to wait another night, I guess. But so yeah, and by this time Brad had come home, and he was making food. He was making supper. So I waited a little bit. I waited till 6, or I think a little bit before 6:30. Well, pretty much 6:30, because I started making it at 6:30, but she didn't eat it. It was after 6:30, probably by the time it was ready, or something, closer to 6:30. I don't know. Anyway, so 6:30 comes around. I give her supper, and then I fix Annika, who had kind of been upset for like a half an hour or so. Maybe not that long, but she'd been upset for a little bit. I gave her a bottle. I finished giving her, well, while I was giving her bottle, oh, my husband is so great. Brett brought in a plate and bowl of food for me for supper. He had made pasta. We had some pasta because we were trying to figure out what we wanted. But we had pasta, and of course he had put sauce, and then he had there's some shredded chicken in there, so there was that. And then he also had some green beans that were like fresh green beans that were from, I think, his dad's garden, his dad and stepmom's garden. He had cooked those up and put all kinds of yummy stuff on those that he always does, because he's amazing at putting random spices on things and making them taste delicious. So we had the pasta and then green beans with all these spices and stuff on them. I think just like garlic. It probably isn't even a whole lot of spices, but it was really good. It's always really good. So I had that sitting there. He brought that into me while I was feeding Annika. Like, he wasn't like, oh, there's food out there. He made this food, especially the green beans. The green beans honestly were better than the pasta. Because I don't think he added much to the pasta. Or maybe he did. But the green beans were awesome. But I didn't eat those right away, because I was feeding Annika. But he brought that in and asked what I wanted to drink. And I was like, I guess just water, in this thing. He went out into the kitchen after I said that. Or I was like, I guess just water, because I would maybe say coffee, but I don't want to make you make coffee, so water's fine. And he said, okay. And he went into the kitchen, and I was like, actually, because this thing was sitting here, I was like, actually, can you put it in here for me? Put it in this thing for me? And so he came in here, and he got that and took it out to the kitchen and came back with some water for me, because he's awesome. And then went back to the kitchen, and I think got his food and went upstairs. I don't know if he'd gone upstairs at that point, but we'll say that he did. So Gwen's still in there eating her food. I get finished feeding Annika her bottle. I lay her down. She's not very happy. I go in and clean Gwen up. She's getting more and more frustrated and sad and stuff, because she's super tired at this point. It's after 7, I think, at this point. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get you cleaned up. I'm gonna read you some books, and then you can go to bed. You can just go to bed early whenever we finish reading books. You don't have to get a bath tonight. I won't make you wait till 8 o'clock to go to bed. You can just go to bed as soon as we finish reading books. But I wanted to read the books to her, so I read her. I got her cleaned up. I brought her in here, read her books pretty much the whole time. Annika was screaming, and then I was just gonna put her straight to bed, but she likes to look at the books herself after I read books, so I went ahead and let her do that. And I went over and kind of held Annika for a little bit while Gwen was doing that. And then Gwen kind of got to where she was over reading books and remember that she was tired, so I took her up to bed. But it wasn't 8 yet, and I wanted to wait till 8 to put Annika to bed, so you probably don't need to know all this stuff I'm going to say anyway. All these different things I'm saying. So then I took, so then I cleaned up the living room, because Gwen always gets some toys out and books out, which is great. I love that she gets these things out. It makes me so happy. Eventually I will get tired of cleaning things up, but right now I am just so happy and so grateful that she is able to get around and get these things out, and I'm gonna move on because I'm gonna tear up. But so I cleaned up the living room. I got all the dishes, most of the dishes put in the dishwasher, and got a couple other things like the main pans that were used to cook. I got those soaking in the sink, and got the rest of the food put in the refrigerator that we didn't eat. Brian came down and gotten more food by then, so I think he had gotten as much as he wanted. Then I brought Xena in. I had yet to collect the trash yet, which I usually do on Tuesdays, because it goes out Wednesday morning. So I went around, I changed the trash in the kitchen. I went up and collected all the trash upstairs, including like the heaping pile of diapers that we have in the bathroom. That's like a diaper trash thing. And then I went down to the basement and took care of all the cat poop down there. And then I took all that out to the garage, and then out to the road in the bin things, and then washed my hands. And by then it was like 10ish after 8. So I went up and fed Annika a bottle and put her down, and she pretty much went right to sleep because she was so tired. Partly because I think she was tired already, and she was just a little hungry, and then also because crying so much probably wore her out even more. Now my hand's falling asleep. So I got that, and then I went ahead and put the 2 things that I had soaking in the dishwasher. Oh, a thing that I didn't mention was, I don't know if I was eating or doing something with one of the girls. I don't know if I had finished eating it at that point. But before Brett went upstairs, he's like, oh, coffee's being made, by the way. And I was like, oh, thank you. So, after I got all that stuff done, got the things from the sink put in the dishwasher that I had soaking, I got myself a nice big cup of coffee. Luckily our coffee maker keeps it warm for I don't know how long, but it's been like at least an hour and a half since he made the coffee, or at least since he started it, and it was still like the light was still on, saying it was still warming it, so that's awesome. And I've been talking for like 13-14 minutes now, and the coffee's been sitting not being warmed. But first of all, appreciation post for my husband, because he made supper, and some really good green beans. I know I've already said that a couple times, but really good green beans. And then he brought it, like as I was feeding Annika, he brought the plate of food, a plate of green beans, and the bowl of pasta into me, and then brought in my water, brought me water. He even came back in here to get me the cup, and then get the cup, and then go and put water in it, and come back and give it to me. And then he made coffee, which I told him he didn't have to make coffee. It's just like the only flavorful thing really that we have in the house, which is why I said coffee. Otherwise I would have wanted like a pop or something, but we don't have that. So he made coffee for me. Just kind of surprised me with that, because I told him he didn't have to do that, and I didn't think that he was going to. But then he was like, oh, coffee's being made, by the way. And I was like, oh, thanks. That's so nice. So appreciation post for him, because I really appreciate that, with me running around doing all that stuff, getting the girls fed, and just dealing with them being tired and stuff, and trying to make sure that they're fed and stuff. Him doing all that stuff for me was really nice, especially after him working all day. I really appreciate it. So thanks, Brett. I love you so much. That sounds disingenuous, but I really do appreciate it. It's pretty great. And I did tell him thank you, by the way. It's not just me telling him thank you on this video, but I did tell him thank you in person, probably a couple times. But I'm really grateful for that. Also, it is an appreciation post. I'm not going to lie and say that it's not, that I don't like when they get to bed and I'm not hearing the screaming, and usually they're not, neither of them are really screaming before bed. Not anymore. Annika was for a while, but she hasn't been lately for the usually doesn't for the most part anymore. And Gwen usually doesn't. Usually, I think it's because she didn't really get a good nap, any good nap in today. Sometimes she has one nap, sometimes two, but we're still kind of in the middle area there, but she didn't really get, I don't think, any full nap today, so that was why she was sad. And I don't know what Annika's situation was. Maybe she was tired, maybe she was hungry. I know she was definitely tired after throwing a fit, but after them being like wailing and stuff, and just having a bunch to clean up, which isn't, I don't mind doing the cleanup thing. It's very satisfying to be able to like clean everything up and stuff and see the before and after and know that I cleaned it up, and so it's just a very satisfying thing. But to get them in bed and to not hear screaming, it's just the only thing I hear right now is that thing over there, the air thing, and I think I hear crickets outside. But it's just really nice to just sit down, and I haven't started drinking it yet, but have this coffee and just relax. And I'm probably gonna watch some videos on my phone. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say that it's not nice to do that, to be able to just have it be quiet and have some me time and have some coffee. But even amidst them throwing a fit, if you would have asked me, even while they were both screaming and Gwen was a mess before I cleaned her up from supper, if you would have asked me in that moment, like, do you like this? Do you enjoy this? Do you want more kids? I feel like I would have, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure I would, in that moment, be like, yes, definitely, every day. That doesn't make me want any more, it doesn't make me want more kids any less, or even like want more kids right now, at this very second, any less. We're working on it. It doesn't make me enjoy them any less. I mean, in the moment, I'm like, well, like, if you guys were screaming, if I had the choice, I would rather them not be screaming. I'll say that. But even when they're screaming, I enjoy them, and I appreciate that I have my kids, that I have these moments with my kids, and I love them a lot. I love, especially, I didn't get to do it tonight because it was crazy as it was, but the couple times that I've tried to feed Annika, with the spoon, and I'm going to eventually put a video up, but I'm going to try to like kind of do like a few times in one video, but I've tried to feed her with the spoon like twice, and trying to feed her with the spoon makes me appreciate how far Gwen's come. I mean, she did fine, pretty normal when I was trying to feed her with the spoon for the first time. I mean, as good as any baby would do for the first time eating with a spoon, and she does fine now, feeding herself with a spoon, but it's just so exciting to see how far Gwen has come. There's sometimes that it's frustrating with Gwen. And I don't get frustrated with her. It's just, I don't know if that's the right word. I think I spoke too soon. That it's hard. I guess that's the right word. Sometimes that it's hard to see that she's behind, especially when you see other kids her age and stuff, to see that she's behind and that she's not, like, right now, like a typical child. For her, a typical child that's her age. But when it comes to her eating, or I don't know, a lot of different things, it's just so exciting to see what she's doing and think how far she's come. Because when she started working with Help Me Grow and started in therapy, she wasn't sitting up. She's always done really well eating, and I don't think she's ever really been behind as far as eating goes, but she wasn't sitting up. In fact, they told me when she first had her evaluation with Help Me Grow that she felt like jello or like jelly or something when they picked her up. Like, she didn't have a whole lot of muscle tone in her. And she's just come so far since that. It's so exciting. So I've talked long enough in this, but I just wanted to have an appreciation post for my husband for how great he was when I was trying to take care of the girls and stuff tonight, making food and bringing it to me at the chair in the living room, and making coffee even though I told him he didn't have to. Then appreciation for my kids, just the fact that I have kids, and to appreciate how far Gwen's come and the people that have helped her get there. I mean, of course, I do understand that I'm at least part of her getting where she is, but I mean, she's part of it too, and there's several especially the lady that I work with Help Me Grow, but a lot of people that have been part of getting Gwen to where she is today, and it's just so exciting. Appreciation post for those people too. Just everybody. I love everybody. Okay, I'm gonna end this so I can drink my coffee before it's literally cold. So, okay. Sorry for the rambling, but I just wanted to make this appreciation post. Okay, bye.